Alright YouTube, it's time to cover Pascal's wager. That is, the idea that you should believe in the Christian God, and I hate to say it, it's been disproven and refuted for 100 years. And yet, Christians still drag this out to use as an argument against atheists, and it gets old. So once and for all, I'm going to explain why it doesn't make sense. The idea is that you should believe in the Christian God, because the Christians have everything to gain and nothing to lose by believing in their God, as opposed to atheists who have nothing to gain and everything to lose by being atheists. That is, if Christians are right, Christians go to heaven, atheists go to hell. The Christians benefit significantly, the atheists lose significantly. If the atheists are right, neither of them really benefits or loses because there's simply nothingness after death. So let's examine why this doesn't make sense. Because I see it all the time, and it's really just brain dead. It ignores the fact that there are more than one religion, that there's more than one religion on the planet. The idea, and when it was originally formulated, Christianity was the going trend in most of the developed world. It was sort of taken for granted that you were either a Christian or a Jew, or an atheist. That, you know, the other religions didn't really matter. They were marginalized, they were outside of advanced culture, they didn't really matter in any way. They couldn't possibly be true, they didn't have the Bible. But in reality, there are lots and lots of religions on this planet. So the wager doesn't hold up. In reality, the thing is this: any of the religions on Earth could be true. Any of the religions on Earth could be false. That includes atheism. There's no proof that any given religion is true. There's no evidence of a God or evidence of a lack thereof. We can, as atheists, I would say, we can at least attack subjectively the dogma of religious scripture. We can say that things in the Bible aren't borne out by archaeology or biology or genetics or whatever, so we can attack that. But we can't really say there's no God. We can only attack the characteristics ascribed to that God through logic and science. Which is one thing I think atheism has that no other religious group does, that we can use those things to attack religion. But let's say Hindus are correct. Let's say that you reincarnate when you die and your actions inform your, reincarnatory experience. Well, most Christians eat beef, so they've got a lot to lose by not being Hindus and by eating beef, so they should convert to Hinduism and stop eating beef. You see, if you extend this idea to all religions, you have a hell of a lot of laws to follow. You might as well make Hajj, you might as well not eat beef, you also can't eat pork in case the Jews are right. If the Buddhists, you might as well have Buddhists chanting mantras when you die, because if their conception of the afterlife is true, that'll automatically allow you to reincarnate in, a human form, or even attain godhood if you want it. So you'd have to follow a hell of a lot of laws. Your entire life would be based around this scriptural nonsense. Every action you took, you'd have to second guess yourself. In reality, most people choose one specific religion to follow. It doesn't matter which one you do. If you wanted a more appropriate analogy, you would take the analogy that every religion and lack thereof represents a door. And behind one single door is paradise, and behind all the others is hellfire. That's essentially what theists in most religions will tell you it is. To us atheists, we consider all the doors roughly equal. That is, we don't really think about the afterlife experience. There may be an afterlife, there may not be. If there is, we don't think that it's likely that it's ruled by some judgmental God that wants to make you suffer forever. Therefore, it's your actions on Earth which matter, in essence how you affect life on Earth, not the afterlife. So really, when you think about it, there's zero benefit to joining or not joining any religion on Earth, when you really want to think about it, because there's no evidence that any of them are right. So there are 1,000 different doors. Which one are you going to choose? It really doesn't matter. If you're a Buddhist and the Buddhist door is right, congratulations, you've hit the jackpot. If you're a Buddhist and the Christian door is right, you're going to hell anyway, despite the fact that you've chosen their religion. If you've decided to become a Christian and the Hindus are right, you'll be reincarnated as a slug for every 4th of July beef barbecue you had. Atheists, we're screwed in most of the doors, according to most religions. According to some, we're fine. And there are also religions on the planet that don't give a shit what you do and basically say everyone chooses their afterlife or everyone goes to paradise. If they're right, then it doesn't matter which door you choose. So the reality is Pascal's wager doesn't hold up to scrutiny. It doesn't make logical sense. It presumes the correct nature of Christianity over other religions, and sort of makes a false dichotomy between itself and atheism. Also, look at different versions of Christianity. There are thousands of religions on the planet. There are tens of thousands of denominations of religions on the planet. Oh, now you've got even more doors. What if the Pentecostals are right and you're a Baptist? What if the Catholics are right and you're a Protestant? What if you're Orthodox and the Mormons are right? You've gotten screwed royally. You even believed in the right God. You just didn't endorse the right rituals. So tell me why, on earth, I should join your religion. Do you have any objective evidence whatsoever that your God exists and that God has the characteristics which you ascribe to it? That your rituals have any purpose or power? That your conventional wisdom about the afterlife is true? Of course you don't. You're moving based on assumptions, not on evidence. Evidence is what science uses. Assumptions are what faith uses. That's the difference between the two. And as Benjamin Franklin pointed out, the way to see by faith is to shut the eye of reason. You can't use reason if you want to have faith, and you can't use assumptions if you want to use reason. So there's no benefit to any religion, is what I'm saying to you. And you can quite easily look at it. There's not a religion on earth, nor ever has been, that provided any real evidence of their gods, or of their rituals' veracity, or their dogma, or their rituals, or any of the things which they did. They can't provide a scrap of actual logic or evidence to any of these things. They rely on assumptions. If you are born into a Christian family, you will probably be a Christian. You may, when you're older, you may convert out of it, but at least for your young life, you'll probably remain a Christian. If you're born into an atheist family, you'll probably remain an atheist most of your life, maybe all of your life. Same with Islam, Hinduism, etc. And the more theistic, of course, the higher the retention rate. In some cases, of course, most people, if you're a deist Christian family, you'll probably have mostly social Christian children, maybe a few agnostics or atheists, maybe even a fundie. If you're a fundamentalist family, all your children are predominantly either going to remain fundies or they're going to become hardline, hardcore atheists. So there you have another problem with fundamentalism. So I say this: I lose nothing by being an atheist. In my case, a satanic atheist. That has no bearing on it whatsoever, being more philosophy than religion. I lose nothing. And I lose no sleep over not believing in your God. I have people literally every single day, online and in real life sometimes, telling me, join Jesus. What do you have to lose? Well, what if the Hindus are right? I haven't improved my lot any. I'm still going to be reincarnated as a snail or a gecko or something. I haven't gained anything. I've only gained something if I presume that your religion is true. I get told the same thing by Hindus who are telling me to stop eating beef, and that has happened. Mormons, Muslims, Jehovah's Witnesses, all of these different groups, they desperately want my soul, and I must be cosmically important or something, because it's literally thousands of these people coming out and telling me to join their religion, because what do I have to lose by being a Muslim, by being a Mormon, by being Catholic, whatever? That depends on which religion's true, if any of them are. Maybe no religion on earth. Did you ever stop to think of this? Maybe there's a God, but no religion on earth adequately describes the nature or teachings of that God. That is, that God essentially stepped back, said, fuck you, left, and that we're left to our own devices to figure out life. He just wants to watch the world burn. Did you ever think that maybe the deity that created the universe, according to most theists, one did, is absolutely pure evil and sent all of these religions down onto earth so people would fight just because he loves to hear debating? Just because this deity is pure tyrannical evil? Did you ever think for a moment that could be true? You look at the state of the world, complete chaos and war all the time, and the state of the universe is seeming to be mostly blank nothingness with a little bit of matter scattered around it that constantly blows up and collides, you'd think that on a mass scale like that, God essentially likes to see explosions and fire and destruction, if there is a God. So I don't hold out much hope for Christian descriptions of this benevolent creator, which they alternately pepper with descriptions, grotesque descriptions of hellfire and brimstone, which awaits all the non-believers. Makes no sense to me. And as I've said previously, I can attack your dogma and point out a million different problems with it that simply don't match reality. So, therefore, on that basis alone, because you claim that your deity informed that text, because the text is wrong and the deity is supposedly always right, I can at least say you're wrong about the characteristics of your deity, and therefore dismiss it and assume that maybe God loves atheists. Maybe, here's another idea. There's a God, but created the earth just so that he could take the people to paradise who denied the existence of God for using logic. Maybe he wants to turn you into a god if you're capable of questioning his existence. Who knows? There's a billion different there's a million, trillion, zillion different possibilities as to the existence of and the nature of a deity or deities or goddess or cosmic force. You gain nothing by joining any organized religion. All you gain is slavery. What you gain is a priest telling you how to live, a book telling you what to do, a bunch of Iron Age or Bronze Age or early medieval era dogma telling you how to live your life, what's acceptable and what's unacceptable. I would rather simply trust in myself and say, when I die, I don't care what happens, because whatever happens will happen. Maybe there's a God, maybe there's not a God. I don't care, because I've looked at all of your religions and I've seen them, and I've seen the logical problems with their texts, and I've said, it doesn't seem like any of them have a leg to stand on, and it doesn't seem like any of them were really divinely informed. I would assume that any truly religious text, one that was actually given by a deity, would be perfect and contain perfect truth, and that truth would never be challengeable. It would simply be absolute truth, and eventually everyone would probably join that religion because it would be pure truth. So I don't gain anything by joining your cult. So that's basically all I have to say. Pascal's wager is a logical fallacy. It's pointless. It's been disproven. It's been discredited a million times over. I just figured in case any of you hadn't already heard of it, just look it up. Google Pascal's wager. And I'll put a link to the Wikipedia page in the description. You'll laugh your ass off. So no, I remain a satanic atheist. Peace out.